Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get started here in just about a minute. Give everybody a chance to get to their computers so they can view and we can all take part in celebration of these fantastic students. All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome to our award ceremony for the end of quarter 3 of the Virtual Club Debate League. It has been a long but really great 8 weeks for these kids who have worked incredibly hard, all building up to our final tournament today, which is to celebrate all the things that they have learned over the last 8 weeks, from introductions to refutation to cross examination. They have really put in the work, and we're excited to see it pay off at the tournament today. So the first thing I want to do, though, is a couple of thank yous before we go into our award ceremony. We, of course, have a couple of really, really important people who helped our tournament run smoothly, on time, and without technical issues today. The first thank you I want to give is to Felipe Gazio, who is our content and technology coordinator. Without Felipe, our online tournaments would be a lot harder to run. So, Felipe, we thank you, appreciate all of the work that you do. And then also Brian Fish, the president of Capital Debate. Again, Brian, we so appreciate everything that you're doing, from running tab to calling families to making sure that we are keeping up with dress code so that our students look and feel at their best in the tournament. So thank you so much, Brian. Another person I want to thank, if they'll come on camera, is Coach Sam. Coach Sam does everything in the league, from coaching to helping look over homework submissions to supporting students individually and really running the back end of our virtual club league and making this all happen. So thank you so much, Coach Sam. We appreciate everything that you do. Our students are so much the better for having you work with them. So thank you so much, Coach Sam. And from Coach Sam, I would love to bring all of our coaches on here, including, let's see, anyone who's judged, any coaches. Awesome, perfect. I see you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead. Coach Steve, a little round of applause to Coach Steve. Thank you so much for all your hard work over the last 8 weeks. Coach Steve has taught and coached our new student classes, our returning student classes, and our accelerated classes. So we really appreciate you, Coach Steve. Coach Sydney, thank you so much for all that you do. Coach Sydney is always willing to jump in and support our students as needed at any level. So we really appreciate you, Coach Sydney. And then also Coach Kylie, thank you so much, Coach Kylie, for all that you do. Again, from working in our corporate office to coaching our kids to meeting with students individually, she does it all as well. So we really appreciate all of our wonderful coaches here. I also want to thank our guest judge today, which was Coach Terry. She has a lot of her own speech and debate coaching to do back home in Texas. So we so appreciate her taking the time to come on, judge our awesome kids, and give some really great feedback. So we appreciate all of you for joining us and judging the tournament. And then I would be remiss not to thank both of our students and their parents. Truly, students, you wouldn't be here without your parents. So make sure you give them a little round of applause. Thank you, parents, for everything you do to support our students. And students, thank you for everything that you do, not only to motivate yourself, but to get really excited about what we're doing at Capital and to approach these competitions, classes, and weekend workshops with enthusiasm and the excitement to grow. Obviously, it's been a long 8 weeks, but you have done a fantastic job and it's finally paying off. So, with that, let's move into some speaker awards. Felipe is going to go ahead and get our speaker awards up on screen. For those of you who are watching at home, make sure to cheer really loud. We have some really great friends in our community here at Capital Debate. So even if we can't hear you, cheer loud enough that maybe in other states we can. So let's go ahead and start off with our 10th place speaker, Myra. Congratulations, Myra. Great job. All right. And our ninth place speaker, we have Arna. Great job, Arna. Awesome. And our eighth speaker. Congratulations, Sophie. Way to go, Sophie. Awesome job. And our seventh place speaker. Cameron, great job, Cameron. Awesome job. That brings us to our sixth placed speaker. Neve, congratulations, Neve. Great job. All right, now we're down to our five. Our fifth place speaker is Ethan Chen. Great job, Ethan. Way to go. And our fourth place speaker is William. Congratulations, William. Great job. This brings us to our top three speakers of the Q3 tournament. Our third place speaker is Lynn. Congratulations, Lynn. Great job. Awesome. All right. And our second place speaker for today's tournament is Waverly. Way to go, Waverly. Awesome job. Way to go, Waverly, which brings us to our first place speaker for today's tournament, leading up to the last 8 weeks of Q3. Our first place speaker is Melanie. Congratulations, Melanie. Way to go. Awesome job, everyone. These are fantastic, fantastic results. We're so proud of you guys. For our speaker awards, this is a culmination of the entire tournament, all the speaker awards that you have gotten over the entirety of the tournament, and you guys did a fantastic job. This was a pretty big tournament. So, again, pat yourselves on the back. You did a fantastic job. Let's go ahead and announce our semifinalists. So, moving into semifinalists from our speaker awards is going to be we have William, we have Lynn, we have Waverly, and we have Melanie. Congratulations, you guys. Let's give a round of applause to our semifinalist speakers. So, for those of you who are going to be competing in our semifinal round, you will receive a link to your Taproom account. You're going to go ahead and join that link. We will get started here probably in just about 10 minutes or so. So, please make sure that you're checking your email, checking your Taproom. Coach Sam will be our semifinal chair for this round. And then right after semifinals, we will move immediately into our final round in the same room. So don't go away. For those of you who are watching at home, we highly encourage you to watch these final and semifinal rounds. These kids have worked incredibly hard to get where they're at. And these are going to be some pretty great rounds. I've seen some of these speakers in the past, and I can speak to the fact that this is going to be a great debate. So make sure, even if you haven't advanced to the next final or to the semifinals, that you're watching and getting a sense of what you will absolutely be able to do very soon and getting a better sense of what your peers are doing as well. So, families, we're going to pause here just for a second, wait for our semifinalists to join, and then we'll get started. But let's give one more round of applause and congratulations to everybody who competed in the tournament today. Thank you guys so much for your hard work. You did a fabulous job, and we will be right back in here for semifinals here in just a little bit and finals, so don't go away. Families, just a quick point of clarification if you are still watching the live. Just want to let you know our semifinalists will move to other rooms outside of the live for semifinals, but join us back in this room for finals. Just want to be sure everybody is on the same page and you get to watch a fantastic final debate round. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys soon.
Next thing.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again so much for joining us as we're about to start our finals. We're going to wait just about one more minute so we can make sure that everybody is in and settled, and then we'll get started with the finals rounds of our Q3 tournament. All right, everyone. I think we are ready to go ahead and get started. Coaches and participants, go ahead and turn on your camera. Thank you guys again so much for being here. This was a very tough semifinals round, but now we have our two finalists. We have Waverly and Melanie. Really excited for an awesome round. Like I said, I think this is a little bit of a rematch, and we love rematches here. So, really excited to get this round going. We have a panel of 5 judges today. So, a lot of feedback coming in for you guys. For our panel, we have Coach Sam, we have Coach Kylie, we have Coach Sydney, Coach Steve, and Coach Terry. So, students, I'm going to turn things over to Coach Sam, who is going to be our chair for this round. The one thing I want to do, though, before we get started, is I'm going to switch us to gallery view so we can all give a thumbs up for our competitors. Everybody give us a good thumbs up. We're going to take a quick picture before we get started. High energy, Waverly and Melanie. We're excited. Here we go. Picture time in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right. With that, I'm going to turn things over to Coach Sam. Good luck, Melanie. Good luck, Waverly. We know this is going to be a fantastic round.
Thank you, Rachel. And before we get into the final round, I just wanted to be sure that we thanked Rachel for everything that she does. You know, the support she offers, her enthusiasm, you know, the guidance she's been able to offer us has really offered a ton to the club league. So none of this would be possible without Rachel. So we're really grateful, you know, for her contributions as well.
Thanks, Sam. Good luck, guys.
Awesome. Okay. So for the final round, we will have Waverly debating on the pro side and Melanie debating on the con side. Again, you guys are encouraged to keep your own time. I will also be keeping time. Don't like interrupting students, but I will if I have to. So definitely keep your own time. I will want to see your note cards before you deliver your speech. So before the opening speech, before the refutation, and then before the closing speech. You guys ready? Judges ready? Okay, let's get into it. So, Waverly, can I see your opening speech note card? And the other side. Okay, thank you.
Would you want your zip code to trap your child in an underperforming school? Or would you want your student, regardless of where they live, to access a better education by attending a prestigious, high quality school? School choice, including voucher programs, should be expanded to enhance education because it fosters economic prosperity, improves the quality of education, and boosts academic performance. My first main claim is it fosters economic prosperity. According to the AEA, 47 out of 52 evaluations on the fiscal impact of school choice programs show that they can generate up to $28 billion in savings for the state and taxpayers. This can reshape our economy's efficiency to promote equality and strengthen our communities. My second main claim is it improves the quality of education. School choice creates a marketplace and establishes competition. The dynamic of businesses competing to gain customers can be applied here, with parents as the consumers, selecting schools and incentivizing them to innovate and adapt to elevate their standards. According to Cattell Institute, 20 out of 21 empirical studies have indicated that competitive pressures set by these programs has led to schools expanding their resources to provide support. And this is key to contributing to an engaged and skillful society and workforce. My third main claim is it boosts academic performance. According to the Department of Education, DC's voucher program led to 84% of students reporting increased levels of satisfaction, test scores, and graduation rates, proving that these programs can elevate scholastic achievement. These programs also allow students to expand their horizons and find a school that can fuel their passion or talent. They also support neurodivergent learners, allowing them to access flexible environments with individualized learning opportunities. Overall, these programs improve life opportunities for all, so everyone can meaningfully contribute to their communities. To conclude, school choice, including voucher programs, should be expanded to enhance education because it fosters economic prosperity, improves the quality of education, and boosts academic performance. By embracing these programs, we can revolutionize our education system, and your zip code won't have to trap your child in an underperforming school. Thank you.
Excellent. Melanie, your cross-examination time will begin when you start asking your first question.
In your first main claim, you mentioned that school choice promotes economic prosperity, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you cited some savings, correct?
Yes. I cited $28 billion in savings.
Okay. And did this savings come from state funds, right? They're interlinked, right?
Well, yes, it could also come from like the annual cost to a taxpayer for a student for public schools is $17,000, but for a voucher is $6,000. So savings could also come from that funding gap.
But these are state savings, correct? They go
These
to
are
the state. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And in your second main claim, you stated that school choice can bring competition, which drives the improvement in schools. Is this improvement in both private and public schools?
Yes. It can be for private, public, magnet, and charter, but specifically public schools.
Okay. And you stated that these schools can then innovate. But where would these schools find the funding to innovate themselves?
Well, even if there is limited funding, these programs enable schools to innovate not just by using funding, but also by improving in other ways like adopting different teaching methods or approaches.
Okay. And in your third main claim, you mentioned that academic performance tends to improve after the implementation of vouchers, correct?
Yes.
And you mentioned satisfaction rates, test scores, and graduation rates, all increasing, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And the source of all of the increasing rates came from private schools or were released by those schools.
It was released by just all voucher schools from DC.
Thank you. And Melanie, can I see your opening note card? So on the other side. Great. Thank you.
Imagine a classroom that is sponsored by school vouchers, a classroom with students that have disabilities, that are academically struggling because their school of choice is not required to offer individualized learning plans. Or imagine students that do not have the opportunity to join enriching extracurriculars because school vouchers have taken away necessary funding. For this reason, school choice, including voucher programs, should not be expanded because they do not enhance every student's education. Specifically, school choice should not be expanded for three key reasons. Evidence proves that school vouchers fail to improve student performance. These programs reduce school funds in rural communities, and they limit essential services for students with disabilities. First, let's examine the academic results of areas that have implemented these school choice programs. According to the National Coalition of Education, studies performed in Louisiana, Indiana, Washington, D.C., and Ohio show that voucher students experienced a significant decline in academic performance. More specifically, the Stanford report articulates that in Milwaukee, Indiana, a community of minority eighth graders ranked low in math and the last in reading test scores when compared to 13 neighboring communities. This minority group made up over 70% of voucher recipients that year. This is relevant because voucher programs don't actually improve student performance, which undermines the purpose of implementing these school choice programs to provide students with academic opportunities. And while these academic failures are concerning enough, the impact on rural communities is even more troubling. According to EduTrust.org, voucher programs rely on state funding, which is the same source of funding for public school districts. As a result, rural public schools that rely heavily on state funding must reduce enriching programs and extracurriculars for their students. Additionally, a study in Kentucky found that 8 rural school districts would have to cut their budgets by 20% if the state implemented school choice programs. This is evidence that school vouchers do reduce school funds in rural communities, and as a result, these rural public schools must reduce enriching programs. And when these programs are reduced, an inequality in education and experience becomes present among students. Furthermore, school vouchers do not only reduce school funding, but they also limit essential services for students with disabilities. According to the Raise Your Hand Texas organization, vouchers may allow attendance at most private or charter schools, but these schools often lack crucial services like individualized learning plans or speech therapy, mandated by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act in public schools. According to NPR, a family with a child with special needs in the Florida area who are using vouchers to apply to both private and charter schools were struggling to find a school that would accept and accommodate their child with special needs. This is important because students with disabilities must be accommodated in order to receive an education that is specific to those under their circumstances and to be offered equal opportunities of academic achievement as their peers. For private or charter schools that are made available by voucher programs do not adhere to these federal guidelines. Given these harmful effects as a result of implementing school choice programs, academic underperformance, the reduction of school funds, and limited services for students with disabilities, it is proven that school choice, especially voucher programs, should not be expanded because they do not enhance every student's education and have detrimentally impacted the communities where they have been implemented. In conclusion, school vouchers may promise choice, but they deliver inequality. And they may offer options, but they take away opportunities. Thank you.
Waverly, your cross-examination time will begin when you ask your first question.
Regarding your second main claim, can you agree that rural students from rural areas don't make up the majority of students in the country?
I would disagree. I think, and I have evidence that the majority of the United States is rural communities.
Okay. Can you cite that evidence, please?
According to the National Rural Education Association.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And then, do you have any evidence proving that reduced funds in these communities directly correlates to a negative impact on students?
Yes, because it creates inequality among students, because some students may have access to educational opportunities like tutoring or extracurriculars that help them, and other students would not.
Okay, is there any specific evidence of this, or is this just an assumption?
According to EduTrust.org, this is a broad pattern.
Okay, and then regarding your third claim, what about programs that are dedicated to students with disabilities? Can't that benefit them?
Well, those programs really benefit students who have access to a specialized program, and the majority of students do not have access to such a specialized private school.
Yes, but if we expand these programs, can't that mean that more of these students with disabilities will be able to access it?
We would be relying on private institutions to expand themselves and fund themselves, and we don't have any evidence supporting that that would actually occur.
Okay, and then regarding your first claim about academic performance, what factors do you think are contributing to a decline in academic performance?
Well, transferring schools is seen to be detrimental to students' performance, and also many voucher schools are not, in fact, high quality.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, speakers. Waverly, would you like some prep time before your refutation speech?
Can I please use 1 minute?
You got it. Okay, that's been 60 seconds. Can I see your refutation cards? Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
My opponent's first main claim is it does not increase academic performance. But first of all, historical precedent contradicts this argument. According to the Department of Education, 84% of voucher recipients in DC's voucher program have reported elevated scholastic achievement and enhanced success. Secondly, these programs foster competition. These programs incentivize schools to innovate and adapt. Of all studies collected by Mountain Policy Institute in 2023, 84% have showed a positive impact on many metrics like fiscal effects, test scores, satisfaction, attainment, civic values, integration, and even safety in schools, proving that these programs have a positive impact on schools and students. My opponent's second main claim is it harms underserved rural communities. But first of all, school choice can be a powerful tool to fight against poverty. School choice aims to break the link between where students live and where they go to school, and seeks to interrupt the cycle of poverty by providing financially challenged students with opportunities for long-term success. But so far, vouchers have had a positive track record on their impact on educational and life outcomes for low-income minority students from these rural communities. Secondly, these programs increase academic growth. Milwaukee and DC's voucher program has seen a significant increase of graduation rates and test scores for low-income families, which benefits these underserved rural communities. And my opponent's final main claim is that it limits students with disabilities. But first of all, it actually leads to enhanced support. According to Fordham Institute, 76,000 students have used school choice scholarship programs dedicated to special needs students, and thousands more have flexible education savings accounts, giving them access to educational environments and therapies for families no longer willing to endure the public school abandonment of their children. Secondly, these programs lead to more opportunities. According to EdWeek, North Carolina adopted the Disabilities Grant, a voucher covering up to $8,000 a year for neurodivergent learners to enhance their education to pay for special services. Thank you.
Thank you. Melanie, would you like prep time? Okay. Can I see your refutation cards? Looks good. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So, thank you.
And I have my notes from the
Oh, yeah.
from her speech.
Of course. Yep, perfect.
My opponent's first main claim was that school choice leads to economic prosperity, specifically savings of taxes on the state level. But according to EddyTrust.org, voucher programs rely on state funding. So the savings as a result of voucher programs would be from state funding. And we know from EddyTrust.org that public schools also rely on the state funding. So when this state funding is moved around and it's saved and it's not used, public schools are directly harmed. And according to the National Rural Education Association, 85% of rural students do not have access to a voucher school, so they stay in public schools. But because school choice leads to economic savings in some suburban and urban communities, that savings directly harms rural public schools because that saving comes from the reallocation of state funds. And when this savings hurts rural public schools, it directly harms a rural student's quality of education, creating inequality among urban and rural communities. And my opponent's second main claim was that school choice would bring competition, incentivizing schools to improve and innovate themselves. But I have three reasons why this does not occur. My first reason is that public schools don't gain money from vouchers. According to the Economic Policy Institute, public schools have fixed costs like maintenance and administration that do not vary in student enrollment. And my second reason is that according to EddyTrust.org, vouchers redirect state funding, harming public schools, and public schools cannot innovate with inadequate funding. And my opponent stated that private schools would also improve themselves. Because private schools are not legally required to release data surrounding student performance and investment records, we cannot actually track a private school's improvement because they do not have to release and disclose any data regarding their improvement. So this means that school choice is not guaranteed to improve private and public schools. And my opponent's third main claim was that school choice generally leads to improved academic performance. But they fail to realize that this does not occur, and that is for three reasons. The first is that transferring schools is detrimental to students' performance. As according to a Fatherly News report, students that transferred to voucher schools performed academically worse than their peers who stayed in public schools. Second is that according to the National Coalition of Education, studies performed in various states, both urban and rural, found that voucher students experienced a decline in academic performance, and more specifically, a drop in percentiles. And third is that, again, private schools are not required to disclose data about academic performance because they are not subject to the Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. So the data my opponent provided is not sufficient to prove that school choice would improve student performance. Thank you.
Thank you. Waverly, would you like the rest of your prep time?
Yes, please.
Could you remind me what that was? I have a minute. Is that right? Okay. Okay, that's been a minute. I'm gonna see the note cards you'll be using for your code. And the other side. Perfect, thank you.
My winning argument is that school choice improves the quality of education and it boosts academic performance. And this is accomplished when schools innovate and adapt to and are incentivized to elevate their standards. When attempting to refute my arguments, my opponent talked about how schools will have limited funding and how school choice leads to students performing academically worse. However, these programs actually lead and yield significant savings and fiscal benefits for the state, taxpayers, and voucher recipients. Also, we've seen targeted improvements in specifically public schools due to school choice in many metrics such as test scores, integration, satisfaction, and fiscal effects, and many other metrics. Judge, this debate focuses on equity and our students. So let's embrace programs that combat systematic inequality and that break socioeconomic barriers. This enables neurodivergent learners to thrive in flexible environments and for other learners to fuel and ignite their passions. Let's embrace a system that seeks to interrupt the cycle of inequality and poverty and that aims to break the link between students' socioeconomic status and where they go to school by empowering them to keep the fate of their educational and life outcomes in their own hands. Thank you.
Thank you, Waverly. And Melanie, would you like your 2 minutes of prep time? Okay, just let me know if you're ready to go. Okay, that's been 2 minutes. Can I just see the note cards? Excellent, thank you.
Are we allowed to use our notes from our opponent's speech?
Yes.
Yeah. Then here's this one.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. This debate isn't just about expanding school choice. It's about whether these programs truly enhance every student's education. And I have proven that they do not, because these programs do not improve student performance. These programs reduce school funds in rural communities, creating inequality, and they limit essential services for students with disabilities. And this last point is very important because students with special needs are vulnerable and they have to be accepted and accommodated to receive an education that is equal to those of their peers. And my opponent stated that school choice enhances student education, so it would benefit students with disabilities. And though these school choice programs may give access to specialized private schools, they do not guarantee access at such private schools. And they also do not guarantee accommodation at voucher schools. And my opponent stated 3 claims that supported why school choice should be expanded. And the first was economic prosperity. But I have proven that these savings are from the direct reallocation of state funding, specifically harming public schools, rural public schools to be exact. And the second claim was that competition generally leads to improvement in schools, but they fail to acknowledge factors and challenges that public schools face. And also, we do not have enough data to measure private schools' improvement. And their third claim was that academic performance tends to improve after the implementation of vouchers. But the data they provided does not accurately represent every participating voucher school because private schools are not required to release data surrounding student performance. In conclusion, Judge, by voting con, you are protecting our current education system that uses public funds to directly fund public schools and that has opportunities of improvement and gives academic opportunities to every student. Thank you.
Well done, speakers. We certainly have a tough decision ahead of us, but we're going to take a moment and deliberate, and yeah, we'll get back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Coach Sam. So while the judges are deliberating, you're welcome to go ahead and turn off your camera. And then students, I'm going to, Waverly and Melanie, just move you here for a quick second so we can get one more photo with the two of you. So thanks, Waverly. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to move you guys around on my screen. Okay, perfect. That was a fantastic round. You guys did a fantastic job. Really excited. I know the judges have a hard decision definitely ahead of them. So go ahead, do me a favor, get all situated. I'm just going to take a regular smiling photo here like we would normally do. Awesome. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Great job. Okay, perfect. So I have our photos. You guys want to go ahead and turn off your cameras, and then I'll call you back as soon as we have a decision. Great job. All right, I'm back. So you know what that means. Our judges have come to an incredibly hard decision. Again, this was a really great round. So everybody go ahead and turn on your cameras. All right, awesome. Awesome. Melanie, perfect. All right, we're all here. So one more time, let's give a round of applause to our finalists, Waverly and Melanie. Fantastic job. You guys did a wonderful, wonderful debate round. And I think I even learned a couple of things from it, which I always love in the tournament. So without further ado, let's go ahead and announce our tournament winner. Are we ready? Coaches, give me a Zoom drum roll here. Zoom drum roll, Zoom drum roll. Our tournament winner for today is Melanie on the con side. Congratulations, Melanie. Waverly, you did a fantastic job as well. You guys, this was a very close decision. We will definitely have to follow up with you, but you both did a fantastic job. Waverly, great job as our runner-up for our tournament champion. And Melanie, great job as our tournament champion. You guys worked incredibly hard. We appreciate all of your work. Judges, a round of applause to you as well. Thank you guys for an incredible tournament. This is the end of quarter 3, and we hope to all see you in quarter 4 and or camp, which is coming very soon. We are already in March and looking forward to camp. So hopefully we'll see both of you there or in club. But thank you guys again for a wonderful tournament. Great job. Melanie, I'll have you hang back just for 1 second, but thank you all, and we will see you very soon.